Hey guys, we have 100D versus TSM. Apparently, TSM lost to 100D. 100D have been getting better and better, but I think a lot of it is on TSM just playing like ass. Just absolute ass. This is the second time they drafted TF this weekend, and it did not look good. I honestly haven't seen Bjerg play this bad in forever. I just one thing about Bjergsen is he's one of the poster child for consistency. You can talk shit about, oh, he doesn't carry that hard, oh, he's not as pop off as Jensen, but he's someone that's extremely consistent and can play pretty much any style. And to see him falter so hard on a champ, I was pretty shocked. Sonaban, 100 Ds. I don't think I've played Sona Canch at all this split. So, yep, let's not that surprising. So Silas ban is because they like first picking Sejuani, and Silas is one of the better picks into it. Acadian also plays Silas. Rakan for TSM is because 100 Deeps, a lot of their wins have came off of Zaya Rakan, so Rakan ban fits in really nicely there. Karma, one of the best first picks. Irelia ban, that's a ban I actually don't understand. I'm not sure why 100 Deeps did it. And Yuumi, because Yuumi's a good first pick. So now, one thing that's really interesting that happens is 100 Deeps gets Sejuani for free, and TSM gets pretty much nothing. Like the Silas ban into Seju first pick was so good for 100 Thieves. Aatrox Gragas. I actually love the Aatrox Gragas here. And I didn't think it was a bad draft at all. I'll tell you where I actually did have problems. Braum. The way 100 Thieves is drafting is like, we don't care about early game. When we get to mid game, when we get to late game, we will out team fight you. Our comp will be stronger than yours. And then Corki blind. Just, this is very typical of 100 Thieves. Like, Sejuani first pick. Scaling boss side. Blind picking mid, not counter picking. Like, nothing so far is unexpected. This is where it becomes really weird. I thought for sure it would be the Yasuo right here. Yasuo is great into Corki. Gragas Yasuo makes a lot of sense. 100 Thieves, mid and jungle, that's where they're a little bit weaker. Let's actually attack them there. Like, let's do this. It makes perfect sense. Zed is just a troll hover. And then into the TF, like, I really did not understand. Like, 100 Thieves, not likely to ban out TF. TF Gragas, not that greatest as a duo. Just why TF here? And it's a TF into Corki also. This was just so speechlessly bad. Bjerg can play Yasuo. Back when I coached him, he was a really good Yasuo player. And he's someone that does nothing but play the game, so he would have kept up. Yasuo's in the meta, there's no way they didn't practice this. Oh god, the TF pick here was so troll. I remember he couldn't play the Yasuo matchup into a couple of years ago into Nar, so they banned it. When the fuck were people playing mid Nar and TSM had to ban? No, that's just straight false. Colette ban, Colette good into Aatrox, especially with the recent buff to his Colette makes the healing debuffs. Pyke ban, that's really fucking odd for me. Pyke into Braum isn't the greatest matchup. Yeah, I was just super confused by this Pyke pick. GP is also a little bit weird for me, because Aatrox Gragas into GP is great. I guess they don't want it to play. They didn't want to play versus GP with the TF. And they banned something really weird here, if I remember. Yeah, Caitlyn. I was like, why the fuck would they pick Caitlyn? Like, what the fuck are they going to pick Caitlyn with? Like, play Caitlyn Lux. They're going to be playing to top side. And TSM bot lane has been like Tompkins Ezreal. I think it's way more likely TSM takes stuff like Tahm Kench Ezreal than they take Caitlyn. The Caitlyn ban and the Pyke ban were so off the mark for me. It's been with Sivir, Renekton, Seju. That's a strong duo. Ezreal. The Ezreal pick was also a little weird, but 100 Thieves, it's just complete comfort. I think other than the Renekton pick, Corki, Braum, Seju, Ezreal, this is just 100 Thieves going all comfort. They're not trying to get big draft edges. They're trying to be like, we're good at these champions. We're going to pick up champions that we're good at. Hundred Thief doesn't play for draft edges. They draft for player comfort. Like early picking Corki. The only draft edge they really got was first picking Sejuani with Silas banned, but Jarvan was still up, so it wasn't even that big of an edge. What they did such a great job with though is really understand where their team is at and how they can get wins with this team. And how you're going to get wins with this team is team fighting, mid and late game decision making. That's where Afro really shines. That's where Amazing really shines. I think they're doing a really good job of drafting for the team they have instead of going for more of a global meta. Oh shit, I didn't get to talk about the comps, so let's talk about the comps a little bit. So 100 Thief, strong 2v2. Very core part of their game plan. Seju plus 8 Renekton, extremely strong 2v2. Whenever Renekton does W, it procs Sejuani stun multiple times, so Sejuani can get the stun very easily. And then Renekton generally wants to split. Sejuani tank / CC. Corki's just good. He's a carry / poke. Same thing for Ezreal, carry / poke. But Ezreal can be utilized really nicely in the 1-3-1. Corki and Renekton can both split, so 1-3-1 can be a really big thing for 100 Thieves. And Braum is mostly just CC and tank and team fight. So you have a comp that can do a lot of things, but majorly, like a lot of their win condition is going to come off of the 4v4 team fights or the 5v5 team fights. As for TSM, let's start with the global on TF. That's a really big power strength of their comp. Sivir is more team fight, I would imagine. Nautilus is tank / CC. Gragas, engage. Aatrox split. This 2v2 isn't the strongest. So TSM's overall game plan, they have never been a team that really plays around bottom, at least with this iteration of their roster, or ever since they got Broken Blade. I think a lot of their game plan is going to revolve around helping out topside and making sure Aatrox is going to get going. That's going to be very important for them, how they deal with the top lane 2v2. And after that, later on in the game, there's a lot of creative things they can do with Aatrox plus TF and both split pushing, also with Sivir having TF. It's going to mean we're going to be looking at very global version of TSM. They have 3 teleports and a global. They have 4 ways of like moving around the map, and they want to utilize that much as possible. Whenever you pick TF, you have to utilize its ultimate, and you have to make nice side lane plays, or else like he's much worse than any other mid laner. Like look at the mid laners like that are in the pool nowadays, like Azir or Corki. These are monster team fighters, and they output so much damage. So to match that as TF, you need to provide utility. You need to provide side lane pressure. This is where TF's strength really comes in. Let's see what they got done. Amazing, walking in with sweeper, seeing if there's any worse he can sweep. Very polite early game from both teams. So Acadian starting race, he ended up doing the 3 camp race. I thought this was a weird pass at first, but apparently it's a very standard Predator Gragas path thing. Also, one thing this allows is no leash start for the jungler without really getting hampered, so the enemy jungle can find it a little bit difficult to figure out exactly where they started. Looks like Amazing's just gonna do the standard path. Skip Wraith, go to Wolves, get level 3. Oh, he didn't. Okay, this gives him early level 3. So he's just doing a full clear path, it looks like. So the early level 3 path is usually red double golems, and then you do wolves or blue. Ooh, doing 3 camps. Oh yeah, so I'll tell you guys why this happened. This happened because Amazing didn't know where Acadian started. He doesn't know Acadian's jungle path. So here, he's able to bully out Broken Blade, able to deny some CS. But he really wanted to take the double golems here if it was still up. He wanted to be able to try to potentially gank it if the wave was good. But I think what he was worried about was Fake God actually getting this full wave crash and not getting ganked by the Gragas and the Aatrox, because Gragas Aatrox we talked about is like an okay duo, and there he's so pushed up, so he's vulnerable to gank. That's why I think Amazing came up here, because so just to come up here to deny that wave, while it is worth it, that's not something people do normally, because it's not something you're actively looking for. It's more of a side effect of him being top lane trying to counter gank and there not being a possible gank, so they deny the wave. Now he has his entire top side he can take very freely. Scuttle, blue, wolf, Gromp. Sejuani's weakest part of the game is her first clear, and Amazing's getting through it really nicely. Take the blue. Ooh, recall. So one reason for the recall here is your second Krugs are really important, because your first Krugs gives reduced XP, but your second Krugs give full XP, and Krugs is the most efficient jungle camp in terms of XP, and it helps you stay up in levels, and as a good junglers will take their Krug multiple times, and that's what Amazing's doing. Instead of prioritizing the Gromp and the wolves, he's prioritizing the Krugs. TSM has some bot lane pressure and they got deep ward, so they're going to be able to see him when they see him on the Krugs. There we go. Acadian also doing the same thing, taking his Krugs. It's just small details, but it really shapes how pro players jungle, just due to Krug efficiency. They will do anything in their power to clear Krugs multiple times. But this dragon was really ill-timed from Amazing, so I'll tell you guys why he did this dragon. They chunked out bot side, so Smoothie recalled, and Bjergsen also recalled. And he's thinking, okay, Ryu's gonna TP back, Afro's gonna TP back, and we're gonna be able to do this dragon while we're ahead on tempo. But what actually happens is Bjerg TP's back, Nautilus is like TP, Nautilus and Gragas walk straight here. They didn't really have the TP advantage or tempo advantage. They really thought they did, because Sivir also TP'd back, so they weren't accounting for TSM TPs that well. So this just becomes a really ill-fated dragon. It's an Ocean Drake too, so both teams are fucking crazy for this. Amazing tanked the dragon the whole time, not able to get it. Dragon goes over to TSM. And it's such a feels good for TSM. Nothing was happening early game. Sejuani got a nice early game clear, or first clear, without really getting punished. And they were getting decent leads in lane and forcing TSM to back. And the fact that it turned into first dragon for 100 Thieves and not, or first dragon for TSM, first Ocean Drake for TSM instead of for 100 Thieves, who had the early game lead, is such a feels bad. Fake went for a little opening there, but Broken Blade was able to outplay it. We can see it. We can talk about all these little ones. EQ auto. So this is called Panther combo. When you do EQ auto, it allows you to cancel a little bit of the E animation and makes the Q come out instantly, and cancel out the Q animation with the auto. So Fake God engaging with Panther combo, as I said, EQ auto. And then he's Eing out. I think it would have been better if he E'd forward, and because he has ultimate and Aatrox is still level 5, that's probably one of the best times to go aggressive. Instead, queuing, coming back, ult, and then Broken Blade walking out with QE. And then taunting him afterwards. Fake God had a small opportunity, he didn't take full advantage of it, and Broken Blade got a nice outplay. Fake got wasted ult, Broken Blade still has his ult. If he ever feels like Fake got overcommitted and can't one-shot him, he can ult. Dive attempt from Ryu. So Broken Blade's gonna outplay this, and I really want you guys to focus on him, how Broken Blade needs to outplay this. So for Broken Blade to outplay this, he needs to deal damage. He doesn't outplay this by surviving and trying to dodge damage. He needs to deal damage so people are too low where they can't dive him, and he gets HP back. This is going to be a very common play pattern for Aatrox. He's like a cockroach. Think of him as a melee AD Vladimir. As a Vladimir, you're not just trying to run away, you're trying to damage people and get HP back, and that's how exactly Aatrox play pattern looks now. Starting with ult, getting the QE, getting damage, creating distance between him and the Renekton, and he's not running away. He's going back to Q flash and hit both and get HP back. This is how you survive dives as Aatrox now. You have to be aggressive in return. Ooh, very small detail that we almost missed here. Aframu is trying to flash forward to block the Smoothie hook, but not able to block it properly. So Smoothie got the hook off, and Afro just used flash. Ooh, if he got that flash. I still don't think they get the kill, but would have been cool. I honestly don't think they still get the kill. Smoothie still has flash there. Zaben has ult. So amazing snuck in here, and as we talked about, top 2v2 is one of the core strengths of 100 Thieves comp. The Fake God going in for double E stun. I really wanted Amazing to use ult here. When Sejuani ult travels a certain distance, it becomes stronger, stuns for longer. Instead he used flash ult, and also Broken Blade doesn't have flash here, so yeah, I thought this was so easily doable for 100 Thieves if they just ult here. Use ult here. Instead he used flash ult. I guess there was a chance Broken Blade would have dodged with E. It's really close, but when you ult from like that short of a distance, it becomes really hard to kill. Very nitpicky. I'm not sure how possible that kill was, but yeah, like you have to play this to perfection, and your mechanic and your timing and your coordination with your teammate is so important when you play combos like this, like Sejuani Camille, Sejuani Renekton. It's an extremely dangerous duo if you can layer CC perfectly, but if you can't, you wasted a lot of draft strength and resource in terms of like jungle pathing and like where jungle is ganking to get nothing. And also, Broken Blade doing a great job of living despite how much pressure is put on him. He survived the 2v1 dive. He survived Sejuani coming early to lane and pushing him out and denying him XP. There's just been so much pressure on Broken Blade, and the fact that he's staying relevant is so good for TSM. Like, TSM is a sinking ship, and Broken Blade's keeping it afloat this game. And remember what we said about TF earlier. If you're gonna pick TF, you have to make it up for it in terms of like utility and the pressure you're providing for your team. And Bjerg has honestly not done anything. Like the Corki without flash, not getting pressure by the TF plus the Gragas, who both have flashes up, like the game opens up for TSM by ganking the Corki, making sure Bjerg has mid control, and then putting pressure on the side, like bot is constantly getting pushed in, top lanes that they can go to. But that's just not happening at all for TSM. Acadian just sitting there in case the 2v2 happens. Amazing on bot side. I hated this Herald start. Like, what is this Herald start? You're a Gragas. You lose so much HP. You do it super fucking slow. Instead of ganking the flashless Corki, this is the best we can come up with. Just randomly start Herald. This is the best we come up with. Randomly start Herald. Back up. Okay, I guess. It's just such a waste of time. And now Corki almost has his flash back up. It's just, they got so little done. There wasn't a lot of opportunity, but it's really important to capitalize on the opportunities that are there, and they didn't even do that. Now 100 Thieves starting Dragon instead, because they know they wasted time top side. They know the Herald isn't a real play for TSM. It's just, TSM's so lost. There's so many different ideas. And not a lot of them correct. This dive. Okay, let's talk about this dive a little. Why is this dive being done? Bjerg pushed in. He knows Corki hasn't recalled in a while. Corki has 1,500 gold. Generally, good players will be able to tell when around how much gold enemy laner has. Maybe they can't tell you, like, Bjerg probably doesn't say, oh, he has 1,500 gold here. He probably says something like, oh, they have like, Corki has a decent buy. Corki's looking for a buy here. And that's why he feels confident enough to go for this top play. But the thing is, Corki has TP, and when they don't get it immediately, and Fakeoff's able to make it out here, and the TP's coming in, it's so bad. On the exit, TSM has to be really clean here. And they honestly aren't that clean with the exit. Like, Acadian walked this way after popping the plant. He has to be able to flash the Fedra ult. If he flashes the Fedra ult, they just run up and they get out. Renekton's like half HP, he can't just come in here. But cause Acadian gets hit by this, a fight's gonna happen. They're starting. Oh, this Fakeoff being able to go flash, Q, hit 3 people, get the HP back was so clutch. Ryu flashing after Acadian, getting the kill, and Broken Blade was too committed in the fight, now he dies. This makes game extremely hard for TSM. Now, the Aatrox is never going to beat Renekton in the side lane. Renekton finished very early Shojin. Corki's up 2 kills. Both solo laners are never going to be able to get pressure against the other solo. Both solo laners are not going to be able to win against each other's like solo lane, so they're going to get shoved in, not going to be able to make plays. 100 Thieves are better in a team fight, never going to be really able to beat the Renekton in the side lane. It just, this play really shuts down TSM's win condition and shuts down what they can do for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Also, Acadian ult at the end. He ult then flash because he thought Broken Blade was going to, or not Broken Blade, Fakeoff was going to be here, but Fakeoff with the nice flash. That flash did so much for him. It allowed him to dodge Acadian ult, hit 3 people with Q. Ryu has package here, so he feels really safe. You're unstoppable during package, can play as greedy and aggressive as you like. This is the Sejuani we talked about. Stun right here, chasing. Right here, he's going to get his stun back because he has Shojins. Look at this. Look at, so Sejuani's passive has 1 proc. He gets the stun and it goes all the way up. He gets the proc immediately and then can stun right afterwards. This is what makes Sejuani Renekton so broken. Broken Blade got stunned 3 times within 5 seconds there. It started Renekton stun, Sejuani stun into Renekton stun. Like Shojin Renekton with Sejuani is some of the most disgusting shit. God. Ugh. Gonna be losing solo lanes. Can't really do anything from bot side. Herald is the next play. I don't think there's any way TSM gets Herald. So TSM's here because they know they have to kind of make a play on 100 Thieves to really get something going. I really don't understand Zven TP, Bjergold. It's just so much overcommit. I mean, they are able to kill Fake God, but they burn a TP, they burn 4 ultimates, they give up mid control for a bit. 100 Thieves gonna get free, what is it, damage on bot turret. It's just, they sacrifice so much for this. They're not even gonna lead into Herald. I mean, they got the Scuttle, that's nice, but they just lose so much for that one play. And most importantly, I mean, they do get turret, right? But it doesn't matter. Like, they lose so much HP on bot turret. They lose TP. They lose control over mid. They fuck their tempo. There's so many other things that TSM is paying for that 5-man play. And the reward is a kill plus a turret. But the biggest problem with that is, even with that kill and a turret, it doesn't flip the relationship between Renekton and Aatrox. Renekton still destroys the Aatrox in the side lane. Renekton has a completed item in Shojin. His CDR is off the fucking charts. I think he's at 30% or even 40% depending on what runes he has. And he also has Executioners, where Aatrox is all about spell or life stealing HP back now. That's the new Aatrox. It's about being sticky, getting HP back. And Acadian, like, just constantly starting Herald. Like, people are backing on the map. Like, Aatrox is bot side. I know he has TP, but he can't afford to TP. Like, just timing for TSM doing things are so off. Gragas should be aggressive, looking for ganks, but there's so many random timings that he's starting Herald. Ay, ay, ay. So here, okay, we're gonna go over this play multiple times. This was so god awful. Oh my god. Just watch it, and then we're gonna watch it again. Oh my god. Okay, so let's talk about the problems here. First problem, Broken Blade is too greedy for this turret. Look at rest of TSM. Acadian still needs to take a back. Sivir just back. Nautilus just back is coming out. TF is coming out. So people on TSM's map is providing very low amounts of pressure. Gragas still has to back. So for on the 100 Thieves side, people are getting onto the map already. So they're already farther up, so they're up in tempo. 100 Thieves is up in tempo. So Broken Blade, whenever he's getting this turret, he needs to think about, I need to get out. As soon as 100 Thieves can be here, I need to get out, because we're going to be outnumbered in a fight. That's his number one concern right now. But he's overcommitting for the turret. He feels like he can get the turret. If our teammates are here, here, and here, their teammates are going to be further up. You can't do this. And then he's staying all the way. He's staying all the way for this turret. He feels confident that him and Bjerg can beat whoever's coming in. And then Bjerg TPs here. This is so fucking god awful. Remember the whole point of what we talked about? There's going to be more people here for 100 Thieves side first than our side. And also, the Renekton is so much stronger than the Aatrox right now. Oh, this TP was so fucking bad. Broken Blade's initial decision was bad, and this TP was god awful. 100 Thieves immediately switching target onto Bjerg, able to get him, and then chasing down Broken Blade after. Broken Blade forced to burn flash. He's lucky he didn't get stunned before he went over the wall. Oh my god. Just, it reeks of desperation, and it also shows how little TSM understand tempo, or how just sloppy they're playing right now. Stopwatch flash burn just for the red. Just TSM losing tools left and right. Ugh, these plays are game losing. Last two big plays from TSM have been so game losing. why? Just don't even. Don't fucking even. Oh, why do you even do that? Alright, so let's talk about this kill on Fake Got. They get the kill on Fake Got. They're losing, they have to recall, right? And then they're losing tempo mid, and they're losing tempo top. They give up so much to kill Fake God. And 100 Thieves had their wave in the right spot when they were doing it, and also Smoothie burned the flash there. Losing chunk on top turret. And then they're going to lose chunk on mid side. They also give up Baron control. Like, it's a nice play, but the inevitable of 100 Thieves has Baron control, and we eventually have to go into them, is the big problem that can't get solved for TSM. They have Baron control. We are going to have to face check into them one way or another. We're on a timer from bot side, so they can do this like bot play once, but unless they do it multiple times, and unless that relationship between Aatrox and Renekton switches, where Aatrox can start beating the Renekton, it's really hard for TSM. So the other play they can do is like TF ult bottom and TP to other side of the map to protect the other side of the map. But TF doesn't have TP right now, and if TF is on the side that's close to Aatrox, 100 Thieves are just going to be able to bulldoze down turrets. Sivir alone isn't enough to protect turrets for TSM. They need the TF there also. Just this constant question of what do we do versus the Renekton is the hardest thing for TSM to answer. Renekton has a full Shojins up on Aatrox. Able to take the dragon for free. Don't really care about Baron control for now. Bot lane pushing all the way in. Like this right here is TSM's very small opening. When Renekton is boss side, if they can see someone and find someone, they need to grab onto it right away. But they're just backing off. They're not really looking for a catch here. If they're not looking for a catch, as soon as they push, they should have gotten into lanes and they should have defended. But yeah, they're not looking for a catch, so why are you even fucking topside if you're not going to catch anyone? It's just they do things without knowing why they want to do things. You got topside control because you want to look for a catch. If you're not looking for a catch, then your topside control doesn't mean jack shit, and you need to go defend bot lane, but you're not even fucking doing that. What are you doing, TSM? Cadian getting hit by another Sedge ult without flashing when he has flash up. This is gonna mean mid turret. This is gonna mean 100 Thieves going back to Baron. You're gonna have to check into Baron. It's gonna be bad shit when you check into Baron. You use blue trinket, you have a second blue trinket, 100 Thieves are going to wait on the second blue trinket. Not even waiting on the second blue trinket. Looks like Corki TPing in or Renekton TPing in from the back. Corki TPing in from the back. And Zeben got so scared there. Look at Zeben here. Corki TPing in. It's like, oh shit, a Corki. Flashed away from one auto, so the fight is completely lost. I mean, the fight was lost anyway, but it's just how timid Zeben is playing right now. Ugh. Not like this. Going back, getting the kill because the Ben burned flash earlier, so they know he's really vulnerable, and then now they can finish Baron for real. Acadian can't even dream about coming in. He's just gonna get killed if he dreams about coming in there. 100 Thieves with Baron, solo laners unstoppable, team fight unwinnable, side lane unwinnable. TSM realistically already lost a game. The only way they can come back is 100 Thieves mistake, or TSM gets like a really good catch. Looking for that catch, not possible. 100 Thieves also split 4 and 1. They're not making this easy. The only tool that's a real engage for TSM is Gragas. So when Gragas goes here, 100D backs out. When Gragas goes here, 100D backs out. They just have to keep ping-ponging back between the Gragas and they can never get engaged on. Just keep ping-ponging back. You come, I back off. That's what it's about. We're just doing such a good job of like ping-ponging the aggro, never giving an opening for TSM. Game's realistically over, 2 inhibitors gone. Versus a side laner you can't beat. Whew, what are you doing? Corki 4-0, how are you winning that team fight? It's a foregone conclusion. Oh my god. This TP, Bjerg, this TP, what the fuck? He should be here if anything. Flanking on this angle. Also, stopwatch on Renekton, something super important for TSM to notice. They went for Renekton. Stopwatch cancels out everything. Not gonna die. Bjergsen TP'd in a really weird angle. Smoothie caught. Zben caught. Acadian went back to try to save Zben, not happening. Oh, it's just so fucking sloppy. Literally, this is probably Bjerg's worst weekend ever since he's come to North America. I don't think there's been a weekend where Bjerg played worse. Literally his worst weekend ever. God damn, TSM were just so fucking lost and uncoordinated. They had no idea what they wanted to be doing. Broken Blade is like the only like person that's actually able to function. Like Smoothie also to a certain degree, but Zben, Bjerg, and Acadian, they're having real problems. They're having problems individually, they're having problems as a team. Jesus fuck. Well, there's the VOD review. I still want TSM to do well, and I do think there is going to be some. They will fix things. They're going to make playoffs, and with time, like they'll improve. But it just Worlds seems like a foregone conclusion at a certain point. Like CLG is not a joke. TL is taking a spot. C9 is not a joke. Like there is a very real threat of C9 and CLG taking those spots. Like them missing playoffs, that's where we're getting a little crazy. But them missing Worlds, very much possible.